Hi, everybody. Welcome to This Week in Falmouth. I am Michael.
And I'm Susan.
Susan, you look so smart there in front of your library. I love it.
Smart or old?
Have you read every one of those books?
I have read most of them.
That's amazing.
I visit them. I like to come up here and just visit them. I remember where I was when I read them, and some of them I've read more than once. But, this is a whole lifetime's worth of book collecting.
That's awesome.
40
There's
years.
nothing like books, right?
Yeah.
Reading any good books now?
Right now I'm in the middle of Game of Thrones. I wanted something light and fantasy-like, and I'm reading so much email and so much governmentese and all that kind of stuff. I really needed to lighten up on what I was reading. So
I don't blame you. Yeah, good.
I put in an order yesterday for Falmouth Museums was going to be having the author speak, and it was about the Great Fire and tsunami and earthquake that happened in Lisbon in the 1700s. And it just looked so interesting. I thought, let me order that book. So it's coming.
Oh, that's cool. That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Nice.
anyway,
What's going on? Tell us what's going on.
Well, everything like the rest of the country has gone virtual. So though we don't have anything on our calendar for in-person events, we're getting more and more virtual events. So we'll start out with Thumbtastic, which is one of our fitness members, and they're doing Zoom, and a lot of this virtual stuff is taking place on Zoom, and they're doing free virtual exercise classes. And so that'll take place through at least the end of this month. And they have a schedule on their website, which is Thumbtastic of Cape Cod, thumbtasticofcapecod.com. The Center for Corporate and Professional Education through 4Cs is doing a lot of online classes, and some of them free and some of them nominally priced. They're doing a whole working virtual series training to help your organization work remotely. And they've got a series of classes, some 15, 20 classes here to help your people, your employees learn to work remotely and maneuver around some of these software and all that kind of stuff. And that's I think a free series. They also have some individual classes that are nominally priced that are online business type classes. And that's at capecod.edu/web/CCPE. But you can get there from the capecod.edu and just look up the Center for Corporate and Professional Education. And they have a bunch of classes. Hui is having a virtual event, and that's taking place actually tonight at 7:30. And it's a window on the ocean twilight zone, the ocean's most mysterious habitat. And that takes place on YouTube. That's a YouTube premiere. And if you go to our website, there's a link there to click on that YouTube. It's too long a web address to read to you right now. But that's through YouTube, and that's the Hui virtual event. And let me see, it's about a 30-minute film, and it follows oceanographer Andone Lavery and the researchers that are exploring the frontier of the ocean's twilight zone. Sounds really interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, because, just because this pandemic has come doesn't mean that science is stopping, right?
Or the world. The world's still turning, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's always so much informative and interesting stuff coming out of, these institutions down here. So I'm glad to hear it's going on.
Yeah, and check our website, falmouthchamber.com, check our calendar, but also check their websites, because we may have not been sent information, and there may be things going on that we don't have on our website. And so these organizations are doing things online, and they're inviting people to join them. Care for the Cape and Islands is hosting a Earth Day music bingo. I don't know how this is going to work, but it's an online thing. That is also tonight.
We can never escape bingo, you and me, right? There's always a bingo involved.
I know it.
All right.
And that's from 7 to 8:30.
Yep.
And they do need some advanced registration.
That's great.
And yeah, it's $10 a person, and the proceeds will be used to support CARE's future projects. And you can go on our website for information on how to sign up for that. FCTV on Thursday at 7 p.m., they're doing another virtual poetic license, and this one is called Connecting in the Crisis. And members of the community are invited to participate, share original poetry, story, comedy, spoken word, or solo acoustic musical performance in a 4-minute time slot using the theme Connecting in a Crisis. The pre-registration ends today, so email Andrew Richards, and his email address is on our website. And the event will be recorded and shown on FCTV. So, and it's hosted by Falmouth poet Alice Kosciemba, who was the founding director of Calliope Poetry for Community.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, FCTV was doing these things at the studio right before this whole COVID thing happened. And I think they had just like 1 or 2 of these under their belt. So they're smart people. They went online.
We're lucky to have them, that's for sure. They are smart.
For sure, that's for sure.
Things done, that's for sure. Yeah.
On Friday, the 24th, there is a webinar, Contractual Rights and Remedies as a Result of the Pandemic. And this is SCORE Cape Cod and Islands chapter, which is hosting this webinar. And Jean Curry, an attorney who's based here on the Cape, will discuss rights and responsibilities that might arise under contracts as a result of the pandemic. So there's also the serious stuff to look at too. And they require advanced registration for the webinar, and you can register from our website, Falmouth Chamber.
Yeah, I can imagine there's probably a lot of interest in that. And you know, SCORE always does such an amazing job, as you know.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do our business education series every year. We're another group we're thankful to have and fortunate to have. So,
and it would be worth checking their website also, because they also have a series of different webinars and online things that they're classes and workshops that they're offering, and they offer them free of charge. So
absolutely, that's great. Yeah.
And then finally, again, Cape Cod Community College, they're offering a free online smart manufacturing program. This will take place at various times, Tuesday, April 28th to Tuesday, June 30th. This will be, let me see, free interactive online occupationally focused C101 Certified Industry 4.0 Associate Basic Operations Training Program. So this is an entire training program that they're offering free of charge. Of course, program seats are limited. So again, go on to our website and you'll be able to find out you'll find out more about it, and you'll be able to find out how to sign up for it.
That's great.
Yeah. Wonderful. And then finally, Falmouth Art, the Artist Gallery, they have some online classes and 4 online galleries. So yeah.
That's nice. That's a nice way to spend a little time. Check out the gallery.
FalmouthArt.org. Yep.
I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Well,
and so that's what's on our calendar right now. And we're putting things on there every day. Maura and I are getting emails every day from people who are developing online products and free workshops and sometimes just fun stuff. So check our website.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I know you're not only updating the calendar, but all the other information. So why don't you just take a minute and just to remind people or let people know who may be watching for the first time, just how you have the website organized and what you're doing on a daily basis, the information you and Maura are getting and how it's getting posted. I think it's worth just kind of reviewing that.
Well, usually if I get a bulletin or an alert, I'll initially put it on the homepage, but I will also put a link onto our COVID-19 page, which you can access from the homepage. If you go on the homepage, it's right at the top of the page. There's a lot of links about the COVID-19 resource page, the restaurants who are working page, and the services and supplies page. And I try and list everything in an alphabetical way. I have on the COVID-19 page, I have actually separated that into categories having to do with either financial assistance or medical information or guidance from the state or the feds. And then there's a few infographics on there and some general information. So there's a lot of information on the page. I'm consistently and constantly changing the order of things as some things come in and some things are old. I'll move things up higher in the page or lower in the page. So, take a look at it. There's a ton of information. And certainly if there's something there that you don't understand or you don't think there's information that you're looking for, you can always send us an email, info@falmouthchamber.com, and we can try and either get the information for you or get back to you or in some
Or
way.
you can give us a call at 508-548-8500. I'm in the office in the mornings. Maura and Susan both still working remotely. Obviously, our volunteers are now coming in, and make every effort to get back to you, your telephone message by the next business day. And we've been getting a few calls a day with some good questions. And I have to say, Susan, kudos to you and to Maura. I mean, the feedback and the number of hits on the website, pretty high. A lot of people are using it. It's a valuable resource. We're putting an enormous amount of energy. Susan's up at 2 a.m. updating that thing, I know sometimes.
Not often.
Partially because she can't sleep, or partially because there's so much information.
Not often, yeah.
Well, I know you have. I know, but that's probably one of the most important things we're trying to do is to gather and disseminate and provide that information for everyone, not just our members, for everybody in the community. The other things we're working on, obviously, is some of the financial aspects and trying to help our members with emergency funding. As most people know, the PPP, the Paycheck Protection Plan funds have run dry. Congress is in the process right now of replenishing some of those funds. We're looking for alternatives. I know that we have been working and in dialogue with the town, with the Falmouth EDIC and a couple of our local community banks to try to create a pool of money that we can therefore turn around and turn into loans for some of the businesses that may have gotten left behind, who either didn't qualify or the PPP wasn't a good fit. They didn't get the disaster recovery money because it ran out for a lot of reasons. And, it's a process. It takes some time, but the good news is that, everybody's coming together and is very positive and trying to make something like that happen. So stay tuned. Hopefully there'll be some information and coming up forward in the next week. And I think the other thing is really taking the time to have the conversations about what it's going to look like when town reopens. As if you're not aware, I sit on a panel called Falmouth Cares that FCTV. We do a business roundtable every Monday. It's along with Troy Clarkson, Bill Zammer, and Gary Vacan. And we bring in guests throughout the business industry and community to talk about what's happening, how it's going to look. This last week, we focused a little bit on the restaurants that have been really hard hit. We had Beth Colt, owner of Woods Hole Inn and Quick's Hole Tavern. And we had a representative from the Massachusetts Restaurant Association. Steve was very good at talking about some of the concerns they have at the state level. And we're going to continue to look at other retail to try to get some answers. But I think the important thing is that we are trying together as a community to imagine what it's going to look like when we're on the other side and when businesses are back open. I think one of the things that I know that I continually am stressing is that, there's 32,000 people here in Falmouth right now, but very quickly that number is going to double when summer residents are down here. And what can we do as a community to make those people feel safe and secure to come out to support our retail and our businesses? And it's an ongoing dialogue and a conversation. So it's important that people start thinking out of the box.
Right now, I was going to say, right now it's hard to put your head around that's going to happen, but we can't be like this forever. So, at some point it's going to change and we're going to have to be able to embrace it.
Obviously, putting people's health at first, but also the financial health of the community and those people who have really sacrificed and are suffering due to this shutdown. So what can we do responsibly? How can we think outside of the box? The town, the EDIC, the chamber, different businesses and residents to come together and try to move our way through this so that we have some type of a season that's coming up. So stay tuned for more information on that. That's what we're working on. Did you want to talk about the guidebook at all, Susan?
The guidebook is in. Yay! And I'll be
Yay!
put I'll be putting the guidebook onto the website later on today. So by tomorrow at the latest, the new guidebook will be available virtually. And then once the printing is available and everything, we'll be getting the paper
Yeah,
copy.
important to keep in mind. We normally would have had the guidebook out in the next week or so, but
Right.
obviously printing companies have been closed. So there's a couple of week delay. We fully expect that the actual printed books will be here by mid-May.
Mm-hmm.
Those will be getting distributed out to residents in the normal fashion through the Falmouth Enterprise. And then, of course, when the time is okay, we'll be, getting them out through visitor centers in our businesses. But
Mm-hmm.
having the virtual one to go to, which you can download and print, so you can just
Right,
look
or
right
you
at
can actually read it online in magazine flip form, so you don't even have to download it. You can actually
one.
just read it online.
Is that like not the coolest feature?
Yeah, it is, and the links are all live, so anything that's got a website associated for it, you can actually click right through the link to the website.
It's amazing, yeah. And I
Yeah.
love the cover this year. I can't wait for that. The unveiling of the new cover.
Mm-hmm.
Nice,
Well,
nice,
well,
nice.
log on later today, and you'll see it. So
All right. I know you and Maura worked really hard on that, and
it was a challenge, to do that remotely, and
yeah,
totally had to change the way we put that together. So.
yeah. And George Klondis over at the Falmouth Enterprise, who did the
Uh-huh.
layout and the graphics for us. He's been doing
Yep.
that for a few years for us. Really a outstanding job. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
real great community effort. So, all right.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Any parting
I
thoughts?
think that's it. I think I would remind businesses that if you're available now, or you weren't and you are, or you were and you're not, let us know, and we can put you on the website. And that is for members and non-members. I just put I put a restaurant back up, British beer pub back up. After they had temporarily closed, and so they let us know, and they're back on live now. So
Great.
yeah, just give us info at falmouthchamber.com. Let us know.
Okay. Wonderful. All right, then. Make it a great week.
Yeah, yeah, enjoy the week,
Yeah,
whatever you do.
even though we're all quarantined and in, doesn't mean we can really enjoy, our families, our friends. Reach out, continue to support those who need you. Continue to
Hmm.
support your local businesses. Please look on our website. Go contact the businesses you normally do business with. A lot of pickup, a lot of online orders. Please
Hmm.
continue to support the community.
Yeah,
All right.
definitely. And
We'll
we'll see
talk
you
to you next
next
week.
week. Yeah,
Okay.
bye.